I shall call the roll of officers.
All right. Call the roll of officers, determine if they're at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there.
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see the doors open to our friends at all times, that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and the paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag represents the United States of America, so I strive before the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to Puerto Rico and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed by the Emblem of Washington.
Your duties there.
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standings through savings and investments. George Washington was barely able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there.
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here, by the owl.
Why by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I am asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Mr. Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom may accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization, and I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we shall follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Secretary will call a roll of members.
There are many members and guests present, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor, agricultural opportunities, responsibilities, and the political obligations which May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare the session of the Granite State Association FFA duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matter which may properly be presented. Would Vice President Brian Barrett please assume the duties of the chair?
Give me 1 second. I hope your first day at State Convention has been excellent so far. There's plenty more to come, including the 5th annual Square Dance, which is sure to be a wicked awesome time and is sponsored by Worldwide Chocolate. So let's give Miss Sarah Ward, Co-Brown Advisor, and Worldwide Chocolate owner a big thank you. In this session, we'll honor some of our state stars, congratulate some members who have grown tremendously, and say goodbye to 2 of our officers. So let's not delay this anymore. It's time to present our 2015 State Stars in SAE and State Star Greenhands. As a part of the FFA experience, all members should have a supervised agricultural experience, or SAE. An SAE is a home or work-based project where we learn by doing, whether it's in entrepreneurship, placement, research and experimentation, or exploration. We get to put to use what we learn in the classroom in our own lives. FFA has multiple awards that are SAE-based. Tonight we will be awarding in 2 categories of SAEs, placement or entrepreneurship. Placement stars have a job or internship on a farm, an agricultural-based business, or in a school lab after school hours. Entrepreneurship stars own and operate their own agricultural business without payment from others. The Star Greenhand Awards are given to a first-year FFA member in any year of high school. The recipients of the stars in SAE are second-year members, no matter what year in school. All applicants received in both of these categories are judged on a number of criteria, including the members' participation in the FFA, the quality of their SAE, and their knowledge and skills. We present up to 4 awards, bronze, silver, gold, and star in each of these areas. We'll begin by awarding the bronze, silver, and gold winners. Each winner will receive a framed certificate and an award pin to wear on their jacket. Winners, when your name is called, please come up to the stage using the stairs to your left, walk across, and use the opposite set of stairs to exit.
We'll start off with our first year members, or Greenhands. In the area of State Star Greenhand placement, our bronze emblem winner is from the SST chapter, Amelia Ottenborough. Amelia's SAE is in small animal care with a focus on dogs. Our silver State Star Greenhand in placement is also from the SST chapter, Rose Marston. Rose is being recognized for her work as an aquarium specialist. Placement category, our runner-up is from the Seacoast School of Technology, Madeline Laiswick. Madeline's SAE is in equine science. Moving on to State Star and SAE placement, our second year winners, the bronze emblem recipient from the Winnisquam chapter is Breanna Audette. Brenna's project is in agriculture mechanics.
The State Star and SAE Entrepreneurship Bronze winner is from Co Brown, Julie Renner. Julie specializes in goat production. The silver emblem winner for State Star and SAE placement is from the Paradise chapter, Meredith Newton. Equine management is Meredith's area of expertise. The silver winner for Star and SAE Entrepreneurship from the Winnisquam chapter, Tyler Swain. Tyler works on his family farm. The recipient of the gold emblem for State Star and SAE placement, the runner-up, works in heavy equipment operations and landscaping. Congratulations to, from the Paradise chapter, Dustin Pedersen. The runner-up for State Star in SAE Entrepreneurship category is from the Winnisquam chapter, and her SAE is in Special Animal Production. She raises crested geckos. Let's hear it for Kirsten Brender.
Top stars, the state winners. We have a very special guest. She's come a long way to be with us here in the Granite State. Let's welcome to our National FFA Secretary, Victoria Malik. Each star will receive a check for $100 from the New Hampshire FFA Foundation along with a plaque.
In the area of placement, this year's State Star Greenhand conducted her SAE as a volunteer for the Blue Ocean Society. During the summer months, our winner worked at the Society's Touch Tank at Hampton Beach, as well as on their whale-watching boat, the Atlantic Queen II. Her work required her to quickly learn about tactical marine life as well as whales, so she could answer questions from the public accurately. This young lady learned to properly handle green, Asian, and horseshoe crabs, sea stars, periwinkle, rock gunnels, sea urchins, sand dollars, sea anemones, and many other marine animals. She quickly improved her public speaking skills as she shared information with visitors in multiple presentations every day. This honor student will start on her career path by majoring in captive wildlife care and education at Unity College this fall. Please help me congratulate SST member Nicole Sullivan. Miss Ann DeMarco. This year's State Star in SAE placement works at a farm with diversified livestock. Animals in her care include beef cattle, hogs, hens, and turkeys. During her years on the farm, our stars developed a lot of valuable skills, which include livestock handling and care, basic veterinary care, halter breaking, hay crop production, animal processing, and tractor operation. Her initial goal when starting her SAE was to learn more about livestock. She's done that and much more, including showing cattle, learning about hard work, and developing an appreciation of the joys and discomforts of farming. This active FFA member serves as vice president of her chapter, and her advisor says she has outstanding leadership skills as well as an exceptional work ethic. She's attended numerous FFA activities and has been on her chapter's forestry and woodsman's teams. Please help me welcome to the stage the 2015 State Star in SAE placement, Lakes Region member, Jordan Pilo. Jordan is the daughter of Timothy and Rebecca Pello. Her advisor is Rick Martino. Martino. With a name like Malik, I'm just used to it. In the area of entrepreneurship, this year's State Star Greenhand is a young man with a very diverse SAE. He has a small flock of chickens that he takes care of, which included building a chicken coop for them last summer. He sells the hens' eggs and helps with the family's other animals. This star also does lawn care at homes, splits wood, and works for a local landscaper who himself was a former FFA member. Another important aspect of his SAE is mechanics. He works with his dad in the family's auto salvage business, where he's learned a great many mechanical skills. His advisor notes that he is very proficient as well as humble. This FFA member attends as many functions and events as he can, including fall leadership event and winter leadership camp. He also loves participating in demolition derbies and happens to have a career in mechanics or medicine. Let's congratulate Winnisquam member Brian Brown. Brian is the son of Mary advisors are Janet Rosequist and Michael Pedram. Our final state star this evening lives on her family's beef and sheep farm, where she produces beef, lamb, and wool for sale. Throughout her years in 4-H and FFA, she's developed a lot of skills that have made her into a successful showman of both species. She knows that it's a lot harder to control a beef animal than a sheep, but the satisfaction when she does well in the show ring is worth the frustration. Our winner is very proficient in animal handling, fitting, selection, and care. She uses her extensive knowledge of her animals to improve her herd and has taken her animals and her showing skills to numerous competitions. She's performed very well. This serious student and active FFA member was last year's State Star Greenhand and runner-up for Member of the Year in her chapter. This year she serves her fellow Ag students as chapter reporter. Let's congratulate from the Winnis Palm chapter the 2015 State Star and SAE Entrepreneurship, Iris Larshell. Iris is the daughter of Guy and Stephanie Larshell. Her advisors are Mr. Petrin and Ms. Rosequist.
Thank you, Victoria, and congratulations to all of our winners. Now it's time for a special introduction. To make that introduction, let's welcome Maria Rose and Caitlin Markson.
Hi everyone, I'm Maria. And I'm Caitlin. Tonight we have the honor of introducing Breanna Page for her retiring address. Bree has been like a sister to me, always encouraging me to do my best, improve myself, and try new things. I met Bree through Maria, but became closer by working at the same barn. Long days of working at the same barn became much shorter when I had Bree to laugh with. She has a great sense of humor, but she's always there if you need someone to listen or just bounce ideas off of. I'll always be thankful for the days spent in the summer cleaning horse poop installs, because I knew I built a lasting friendship from them. Since Bree has joined and become active in FFA, she has really come out of her shell. She has grown to be an outgoing person who is not afraid to walk up to someone and start a conversation. She has become a true leader. She can take charge and is not afraid to make decisions. Her transformation in the past year has been remarkable to watch, and we are proud to call her our friend. Now, without further ado, our friend and your state reporter, Breanna Page.
My teacher telling us to break out into groups. Everyone broke out into groups with their friends. Everyone that is except me. I just sat at my desk alone. I quietly walked up to my teacher. It felt like the longest walk ever. My hands were sweating and I could feel my cheeks warming up. I could feel the other students staring at my back. I arrived at his desk and he looked up from his paper. Yes, Breanna? Hi, I don't have a group. He stood up and walked to the front of the room and pointed to a group in the corner and said, "Go join that group." I walked away from his desk and back to mine, grabbed my notebook and pencil and joined that group. The entire group went silent as I sat down. They then continued to talk once they realized I wasn't going to say anything. I sat back in my chair and listened to everyone else, too afraid and too nervous to say anything. I felt like if I spoke, I would just embarrass myself. My group had finished the project, even though I had said nothing. My teacher stood up and told everyone to return to their seats. He then handed out a paper to everyone. The paper was a pure grading paper. I wrote down the names of everyone in my group and gave them a grade based on their participation. Once that was done, he dismissed class and said he would have our grades tomorrow. As you can imagine, I got an awful grade on that test because I was too shy to contribute. When we are too shy or too afraid to try something, we become ineffective. I was ineffective in that group. This is when I realized I needed confidence and the courage to make changes and to step out of my comfort zone. I needed to learn how to take risks. Living and risk can go hand in hand. To drive is to risk colliding. To cry is to risk appearing sensitive. To expose feelings is to risk exposing yourself. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To hope is to risk discouragement, and to try is to risk failure. I joined the school's tennis team. Although I failed a lot, I tried my best. I gained friends and confidence from this. I remember the feeling of winning my first match and the big smile on my face. I finally started to feel better about myself. I had taken a risk, and now I was ready for more risks. I joined 4-H and started preparing my animals for show. I took the risk to demonstrate my skills of showing, even though I knew I could fail. My first year was rough, and I'll admit I was scared and nervous. Before my first fitting show class, I stood crying because my nerves were getting to me. I didn't want to go into that ring, but I sucked it up and took a risk. I also joined the school's FFA chapter. My advisor encouraged me to attend leadership camp where I had gained public speaking skills and leadership skills, and I have been part of several state competitions. These competitions would help me realize that I am becoming more knowledgeable about animals and that had built my confidence. As a freshman at the Thompson School of Applied Science, majoring in dairy and equine science, I have had the courage to ask when I need help and to reach out to make new friends, and to participate in many group projects. I am no longer the shy and effective girl in the group project. I have learned how to become a team player. Each of us needs to take chances, say no to caution and yes to courage. Effectiveness, sometimes greatness, awaits those who refuse to run scared. If things aren't going the way you want them to be, create your own change. Take care of yourself. Work at seeing what you want for yourself and then go about getting it. Find your intention, your purpose, your dream. And realize that if it's going to happen, you're the one who's going to make it happen, and then go for it.
And dedication to the FFA this year has been obvious throughout your year of service, as has been your love of cows. Our team wouldn't have been the same without you, with your humor and your interesting additions to car rides. Thank you for being part of our team. Now, would Ms. Garvin, Pinkerton Academy Advisor, please come to the stage to speak about the silent auction?
Hi everyone. Some of you may have noticed that the silent auction has now moved out to the hallway, so hopefully more of you see it and are able to bid. A couple of changes this year. The starting bid for all items is $5, and the auction will end at noon on Saturday. Items may be picked up after the banquet ends, and we now accept credit cards and debit cards, so hopefully more of you will be able to buy more items. On a side note, please refrain from touching any of the items. I know stuff may look cool and you want to touch it, but we don't want anything to get misplaced and confused. Bid high and bid often. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garvin. Next, it's my pleasure to welcome Manny, Katala, and Maria Denault to the podium to present the Honorary State FFA degree.
It is always a pleasure to receive honorary members into the FFA. The purpose of this ceremony is to recognize from time to time the efforts of others made in our behalf. Madam Secretary, please read the section of the National Constitution which provides honorary membership.
Honorary membership. Farmers, school superintendents, principals, members of the Board of Education, chapter advisors, teachers, staff members in agricultural education, business people, and others who have helped advance agricultural education and the FFA, who have also rendered outstanding service They may be elected to honorary membership by a majority vote of the members present at any regular meeting or convention.
Madam Secretary, will you introduce those who are to receive this honor?
Mr. Chairman, members and guests, I am pleased to read the following name. Miss Deborah Stevens.
Usher, will you please present the candidates?
Miss Deb Stevens. Deb Stevens started her teaching career at Sugar River Valley in the 1990s. Since that time, she has taught horticulture to hundreds of students in the Newport area. She has owned her own florist shop, so her students are truly benefited from her knowledge and experience. Many of the beautiful floral arrangements in the room and out in the Great Hall are the results of her teaching efforts. Ms. Stevens has successfully coached numerous FFA teams and CDEs and has advised several state officers, the Sugar River Valley FFA participants in many events. Thanks largely to her efforts, they have done an incredible job with the New Hampshire display for the Hall of States at the National Convention on multiple occasions. The chapter is extremely active in their local community, doing many service events including work in the community gardens, the local farmers market, and celebrations around town. This past May, Ms. Stevens and her husband very generously opened their home to New Hampshire state officers along with Vermont state officers, so they can all join together for a blast-off training program. She even let us shave her cat. A two-time winner of the Connor Outstanding Teacher FFA Advisor Award, Ms. Stevens cares passionately about her students and is an inspiring teacher. She is well-deserved the Honorary FFA State degree, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present it to her now. Thank you for all that you've done for the FFA.
On behalf of every member, I wish to say that we are proud to have you as honorary members. May this affiliation prove valuable to all. I press upon you that we look to you for guidance and counsel. It is because of the great respect we have for you that you have been elected to honorary membership. May we always cooperate for the benefit of all. I now confer upon you honorary membership in the Granite State Association FFA. I present you with a token of membership.
The next award is the Martin L. Mitchell Personal Growth Award. Martin L. Mitchell was an educator, a mentor, a supporter, and a lifelong friend of agricultural education and the FFA. Mr. Mitchell served as state advisor of the Granite State FFA Association for 36 years, retiring in 1991. Upon his death in 2006, the Martin L. Mitchell Personal Growth Award was created in honor to recognize one New Hampshire FFA member who best exemplifies the qualities which Mr. Mitchell most admired: perseverance, dedication, and a desire for self-improvement. The award is given annually by the New Hampshire FFA Foundation to that member who has shown the greatest personal growth during his or her time in the FFA. Would this year's nominees please come to the stage? From the Seacoast School of Technology chapter, Summer Boudreau. From the Co-Brown Much To Do chapter, Cameron Whitehouse. Nominated by the Lakes Region chapter, Allison Cousteau. And finally, from the SST chapter, Brooke Hall. Presenting this year's award is Mr. Rick Martineau.
That's a little side joke. Actually, this is a really wonderful award to be nominated for, and I've known Mr. Mitchell since when I was a freshman in high school, and one of the things that I want you to know about him was this award is all about excellence and improvement, and Mr. Mitchell spent his whole life doing that. Through all of his teaching, 15 years in Dover and prior in the Keene area and Allsted, and afterwards working for the state of New Hampshire in a position that no longer exists, and spent 25 years supporting agricultural education and ag teachers throughout our state. He was a real legacy, and it's really wonderful to not only be a friend of the family and have the opportunity to come up here and speak to you about him, but to announce this year's winner. It's really kind of unique that I have the opportunity to be here for this, because coming into the Lakes Region chapter and meeting with Mr. Farr in the spring and then over the summer, and then having the opportunity on the first day of my being in my classroom before classes even were started a week prior, some of the students came in to check me out and see what the new guy was going to be like. And it was interesting because after conversations with Mr. Farr, and then seeing what's happened since, this individual came in, and I knew that this person was incredibly shy and fearful of public speaking, and fearful of being involved with communicating in any way. And the first thing I did was hand them the phone and say, call Jolly Roger and talk to Brenda and order some poinsettias. And the deathly fear in the eyes were unbelievable. She made that call, and from then on, some amazing things have happened throughout the year. This individual has grown immensely from her first years with Mr. Farr to finishing up with me, and it's really a privilege for me to see this individual who wouldn't even talk to male teachers and barely talk to teachers at all, to go from that to, when we had a historian position open, apply for that position and get it. Create a chapter display, create a thank you for the foundation members, speak with customers and clients in our greenhouse and plant sales and our fundraisers. And then the highlight of this whole thing was a couple of weeks ago, a garden club came through, and it was our garden club, and they were introducing other garden clubs to our program, and they wanted to take a tour, and they were doing a luncheon, and Allie stepped right in and said, I'll show them the greenhouse. And she did, and they said, what would you like people to know about your program? And the famous quote that I will never forget is that she said, it's not about boys and tractors. Well, FFA isn't about boys and tractors, and so I'm very thrilled to be the advisor to present Miss Allison Costeau with the Martin Mitchell Improvement Award.
Congratulations to our nominees. Our next award is given to a chapter officer who's worked efficiently, thought clearly, and served his or her chapter above and beyond the call of duty. Chapter officers are nominated by their advisors and receive a shiny new plaque and a crisp $100 check. In 2015, we had 2 nominees, whom I'd like to call to the stage now. From SST, Jordan Strader. Much to do chapter, Megan Christ. Presenting this year's Outstanding Chapter Officer Award is Miss Ann DeMarco.
Just like in any FFA chapter, I am certain that your advisor talks about leadership. Many of your advisors may encourage you to take part in being a chapter officer. In my chapter, we talk at length that every member is a leader in his or her own way. I compare each student to being that of a train car. And on the train, each one rises to the occasion when the time comes. For example, the engine. The engine pulls the entire train forward and has to go through everything first, pulling its other members behind. It gets a lot of attention. The other cars also follow suit when the time comes. The favorite, I think, for my student is the dining car. It becomes a leader when it's time to eat. My favorite is the caboose. The caboose is... The caboose is my favorite, for you know it comes at the end, and its job is to act as a backup brake. It stays at the end of the train and watches, just in case the rest of the cars start to go off track, and at a moment's notice, it pulls everyone back online. This year's Outstanding Chapter Officer goes above and beyond the expectations of a chapter officer. Last year, as an energetic member of the SST leadership team, she would try every event for the first time, even though she was learning by doing. She also encourages all other members to do their best. She leads by example, outstanding academics, and taking on more challenges. Her work ethic is to make sure not only the job gets done, but it gets done very well. She checks in with all others to see how they are doing. Other examples are volunteering for all community service events the chapter has partaken in, and serving on the advisory committee for the program, to name a few. But this year, she made the chapter soar to new heights. She took on numerous new events with her fellow officers. As a result, the SST chapter participated in the Granite State Dairy Promotion booth at the Deerfield Fair and had a great time scooping ice cream. She and 3 other members met with local Exeter businesses asking for donations to make gift baskets to be raffled off at a fall harvest day where the chapter educated the public on how to make apple cider. She initiated the SST chapter t-shirt, and she and her committee members encouraged all members to vote on 3 designs. In addition, the overall goal was to raise enough money so every member could either get a chapter t-shirt for free or for $4. She obtained that goal. She oversees the chapter website, maintaining pictures, postings, and happenings. And most recently, she spearheaded the parent night at SST for CDE practices. This past Tuesday night, our chapter had 28 parents come in, and they learned a heck of a lot from FFA members. I congratulate Jordan Strader as being the outstanding chapter officer.
Thank you, Mrs. Mark. Each year, we are very fortunate to have many special guests attend our convention. This year, we have 3 representatives of the National FFA organization besides Victoria that will be here. Tonight, several of them will be down in the Reagan room to meet with advisors and alumni who may wish to speak with them. I will ask them to stand to be recognized at this time. Ms. Karen Hutchinson is the local program success specialist for the Northeast. Mr. Mark Milby is the Vice President of the National FFA Alumni Association. And Mr. Cody Back, Team Leader for the National FFA, National Officer Management, is joining us on Saturday. Thank you so much for being a part of our convention. For the last several years, we have also been fortunate to have 3 members of the New Hampshire House of Representatives attend our convention and assist with judging. Would Representatives Tara Sad, Bob Hafner, and Sean Jasper please come to the stage? As you know, FFA's existence depends on support from many people, companies, and institutions. These 3 individuals have for many years ensured that FFA has had a voice in the New Hampshire government. Representative Sad and Hafner are both members of the Environment and Agricultural Committee, and Representative Hafner is currently serving as the chair. Representative Jasper, a former FFA member from the Alvern chapter, is serving as Speaker of the House. In their positions of influence, these dedicated public servants have worked to make sure that agricultural education and the FFA get the notice and support that we need. Speaker of the House. We would like to thank you for your constant and encouragement and support. We consider you to be true and priceless friends of the FFA, and we hope that these tokens will assist you in your day throughout the state's capital.
We're ready for the meeting. Thank
you very much.
Thank you.
Now it's my pleasure to call to the stage Breanna Page and Manny Catala for a special introduction.
Courtney, we have a poem for you. She's country. She's just a country girl, her blonde hair down and a smile on her face. She got her hands in her pockets of her Miss Me jeans.
Scuffs on her boots from all the mud, wind on her face from the summer breeze, while laying in the grass looking up at the stars, thinking about work in the morning.
From being on the farm to in a store, jeans and a buckle are always worn. Country to rock, this girl never stops.
She'll dance in the rain, but never walk in shame. She's just a country girl loving life. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us introduce our 2014-2015 State Sentinel, Courtney Schrempf.
Spontaneous. Okay. Now let's see how many of us like to take risks, even for good or the bad. Okay, great. I know that's why you're all here. So I know we have some new FFA members here with us today, where it's their first year at convention to members where it's sadly their last. So I want you all to imagine what you had felt like when you walked into your ag classroom on the very first day. For me, I felt nervous, scared, and for whatever reason, self-conscious. For you who don't know, I attended SST, where 5 other surrounding schools go, aka people I've never seen a day in my life. So I sat down next to some people I went to school with, but never talked to them before. And all I could think of was, there's no way all 25 of these other students right now like agriculture as much as I do. So I continued in class for the next couple days, wanting to drop the class entirely and walk away from it all. A week passed, and the only thing that kept me from not dropping the class were my talks with Miss DeMarco, and how interested she was to hear about my work with animals and all my agricultural experience. And there is truly no better feeling than to talk to someone and hear someone who's so interested into what you're telling them and just wanting to hear more and more. But as time went on, I began to meet some of my classmates and learn why they're in this class. You know, like, not by choice, I met my classmates, but like, you get assigned to groups and you kind of have to mingle, but like, so forth. Well, I eventually met my classmates. And that's when I realized all the different aspects of agriculture there truly are. I had no idea my now best friend Carrie is. I had no idea how passionate she was about dogs, especially boxers. And I also had no idea some of my classmates even lived on farms. Until one day I was introduced to Miguel. I was diligently painting by myself, having a good time by myself, just all by myself. Okay, so you get it. But Miss DeMarco interrupted me painting and said, "Courtney, meet Miguel. Him and his brother Manny both go to Suffolk Downs with their racehorses. You two can talk about horses." So awkwardly, I began to talk to Miguel, even though I was perfectly content painting by myself. That was the day I realized how cool my classmates truly were. I had things in common with them, and it was sweet. Then I began to get excited about going to SST and seeing my classmates and even learning. I started talking to all my classmates, and before I knew it, I befriended all of them, and I mean all of them. I was participating in